remember the Nord Stream pipeline incident? The one where Putin blew up his own pipeline and sabotaged the vital Russia to Germany natural gas pipelines and took them permanently offline, caused immense damage to the ocean, wildlife, released massive CO2 levels into the atmosphere, which is apparently why we need to go green, you know, all that toxic CO2. Yeah, that Nord Stream pipeline. And at the time, famed journalist and Pulitzer Prize winner Seymour Hersh published a bombshell report which concluded that the United States blew up the Russia to Germany natural gas pipeline as part of a covert operation under the guise of the BOMBSHELL 22 NATO exercise. Well, in a press conference yesterday, while addressing several topics, including illegal self-deportations, President Trump's meeting with Canada's new PM Mark Carney, and the Nord Stream pipeline, this from Vigilant Fox's Substack, the most shocking moment of the day came when a reporter from Zero Hedge, not CNN, not The Times, broke the silence on Nord Stream. And so the reporter asks Trump a series of questions, and his response is very interesting. Take a listen.
First, I just want to thank you for letting us in here. I'm with Zero Hedge, and the last administration banned us on social media, so we're really grateful to be in the White House. And this is not exactly sports related, but I've been dying to ask you this question for a long time, which is that 2.5 years ago, the Nord Stream pipeline blew up. Yeah. And despite what people like John Brennan and all the hawks said, you were one person who said Russia probably did not blow up its own pipeline.
Yeah, if you can believe, they said Russia blew it up, yeah.
And so I'm wondering, now that you're president, if you would consider launching a formal investigation into what happened there and who actually did blow it up.
Well, probably if I asked certain people, I'd be able to tell you without having to waste a lot of money on an investigation. But I think a lot of people know who blew it up. But I was the one that blew it up originally because I wouldn't let it be built. And then when Biden got in, he allowed it to be built. And it's very interesting. But I think Russia, with the price of oil right now, oil's gone down, I think we're in a good position to settle. They want to settle. Ukraine wants to settle. If I weren't president, nobody would be settled.
So essentially, President Trump is hinting what we all knew from the beginning. The constant narrative being pushed to justify war with Russia and endless tax dollars to Ukraine just wasn't working. And Trump's clue there really points to the fact that, yes, an investigation would be a costly exercise to confirm what we all knew already, because society is at the point where we just do not trust the mainstream media with anything. Just going back to Seymour Hersh's article from 2023, he alleged that the United States, with the assistance from Norway, orchestrated the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines in September 2022. The operation was reportedly ordered by President Joe Biden and coordinated by the CIA. In an April 2023 interview with Tucker Carlson, Trump was asked directly who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Listen to what he said.
Who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline?
I don't want to get our country in trouble, so I won't answer it. But I can tell you who it wasn't, was Russia. Yeah. How about when they blamed Russia? You know, they said Russia blew up their own pipeline. You got a kick out of that one, too. It wasn't Russia.
And then in February of 2024, when Tucker Carlson pressed Putin on the issue, Putin joked that Carlson blew it up. Take a listen.
Who blew up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day. Nate, do you have I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби, у вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
Do you have evidence that NATO or the CIA did it?
Знаете,
You know, I won't get into details, but people always say in such cases, look for someone who is interested. But in this case, we should not only look for someone who is interested, but also for someone who has capabilities. Because there may be many people interested, but not all of them are capable of sinking to the bottom of the Baltic Sea and carrying out this explosion. These two components should be connected. Who is interested and who is capable of doing it.
Now, Putin joked about that with Tucker, but clearly said, you may have an alibi for that day, but the CIA doesn't. Without expressly stating it, Putin made it clear, and Trump has certainly alluded to it by saying, I think a lot of people know. That's why we played that video where he previously said he didn't want to get the US into trouble. So maybe yes, at this point, a detailed, time-consuming and expensive investigation is not necessary, but at bare minimum, some accountability and transparency is what is required here. You can't just go around blowing up foreign energy infrastructure, which potentially multiple countries are reliant on in the interests of furthering foreign conflicts. This is a repeated pattern of behavior throughout the ages by powerful governments aligned with the military-industrial complex who benefit from bloodshed while our sons and daughters go to die so that they can line their pockets. It's disgusting. And if there's one thing we learnt from the Nord Stream incident, it's that we cannot trust media outlets who attempt to propagandize us into consenting to yet another war. The people are done with wars. We want to read you this tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene today. All the narratives are wearing off. Vietnam was a pointless war and we lost. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Afghanistan was a waste and we gained nothing from any of those wars. Saudi Arabia has nuclear weapons and the 19 terrorists from 9/11 were all Saudis. Did we go to war with them? Nope. North Korea has nukes. Little Rocket Man hasn't blown us all up yet, but we were told he was going to. Pakistan and China have nukes as well. And Big Bad Russia has nuclear weapons. We were told Putin was going to sweep across Europe just like Hitler, and that hasn't happened yet either. And he couldn't take Ukraine in 3 years. We've been told Iran is on the verge of having nuclear weapons at any moment for as long as I can remember. People just don't care anymore because none of these things actually affected our lives unless they were in the military and shipped over to these foreign countries and blown up. But what has directly affected Americans and people that I know is the cartel's constant flow of drugs into every single city in America and cartel crime and murder. I've never seen a Houthi, nor has anyone else I know. But what everyone knows is that for some reason, we don't attack the real enemy that kills Americans every single day. No, we have to run off and bomb some country somewhere else in the world because we're told they're the bad guys even though they never did anything directly to Americans like the cartels have. So once again there, MTG demonstrating she is one of the only sane, common sense adults in the room. Ultimately, the point of this story is that they always lie. They always want more wars, and we, the people, are done with it.